Hello, friends of Cinepamina. Today I have a very special guest. I'm here with Shay Overstone. Shay Overstone is putting a play together here in Philly. The play is named Plum. Hi, Shay. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Eric?
Fine, fine. Shay, before we start, can you share more with our audience about your background?
Sure. I am originally from Perth, Western Australia. I have been living in Philadelphia for, I think, about 6 years. I lived in New York a little while before this. My formal education is in psychology, though I've been a photographer mostly before becoming a playwright. I think that's about it, I guess.
And how do you change career? How do you jump from one career to the other?
Well, I think in around 2020, during the pandemic, I kind of started to wonder how we can, find connection to each other in really tough times. I've always loved writing, and I realized that theater was a place where there's multidisciplinary, like there's so many disciplines coming together, and that's a place where different kinds of people can connect together. And so after I realized that, I was like, well, I guess I'll start writing plays now. And I'd produced some photo shoots and stuff, so I had experience with like coordinating with people, and so it was kind of natural. It was kind of natural.
Okay, for those who are hearing about Plum for the first time, how will you describe the play in your own words?
The play is, I'm calling it a love letter to the hospitality industry. It is about a night at a restaurant, dinner service at a restaurant, where we follow a chef, server, and the guests who arrive and come to the restaurant. Um, and yeah, it's just dinner service at this restaurant. All the interesting characters that we all know and love. Maybe some, assholes that we would rather not meet again. Um, but yeah, it should be fun.
Oh, the play is set inside the exclusive speakeasy restaurant. Why did you choose this kind of setting, and what does it allow us to explore on the stage?
I think with the speakeasy aspect, I wanted the restaurant to be quite small and intimate. And I also thought it would be fun to make the restaurant really cool and interesting, because then there's obviously going to be cool and interesting clientele that come to see the restaurant. I also love design and sets, and I feel like a visual artist in some aspects. And my set designer is great and loves a challenge, so I was excited to make a really cool restaurant with him.
Yes, so Plum is described as both a satirical and a love letter to hospitality industry. Can you tell us why the hospitality industry is so important?
The hospitality is, I think, uh, I've spent so many years, maybe 15 years in the hospitality industry before I kind of changed careers. I think the hospitality industry is, the financial lifeline to so many creatives. I think it's one place where you can have a flexible schedule and go on tour or have an artist residency or take work off last minute because you've got a show or something. And so, in that sense, I think a lot of really interesting people work in hospitality, and I don't think hospitality pays enough or treats its staff well. And I kind of wanted to write something where, maybe there's a win there for the staff, and we can play with the power dynamic between customers and hospitality staff.
Yes, I imagine a little bit kind of like a stardust, like a, because there is a lot of people who want to like they need a gig while they reach the dream.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like I think I feel like it's something we all have in common. I feel like it's something that we can all relate to, like a lot of creatives can relate to. And we don't really talk about how it's a rite of passage almost as a creative to have spent some time in the hospitality industry. Um, and I'm not from this country. I didn't grow up with tipping. Tipping is such a strange concept to me. I know what it means and why it's important. And I learned that coming here, but I still feel like it's just really funny. It's just strange. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Yeah.
actually, here in Philly, there is talking about artists and hospitality. We don't have a Stardust, but in Philly, there is Victor's Cafe. I don't know if you have heard about it.
In wait, pardon? It's which
In
cafe?
Philadelphia,
Yeah.
in South Philly. And it's really funny because Victor Cafe appears on Rocky 6 as the
Oh,
restaurant from Rocky. But it is interesting because besides the food, it's a great experience because all the servers are opera singers.
oh my gosh, like that's so cool. And it makes sense because it's the creatives, they're wearing aprons. They're the ones bringing us coffees and bringing our plates and stuff. That's where the creatives are. I love
Yes,
that. I love that.
I imagine that might resonate with you. So I was wondering, like, you often work with non-professional actors, and how does you get to this process to work with people who actually does not dedicate fully with like to acting?
Um, I think that again, I really love people, and part of my creative practice is exploring ways where we can connect. I think that there are a lot of really cool and interesting people in the world, and they're not just in the creative industry. I think I'm just speaking for myself, and I think many others when I say that we don't all have the courage or privilege to jump and explore our creative dreams. And so we go into something more practical, and then it's harder to find places where you may still have a creative streak in you, but it's harder to find those places to kind of pour your creative self into. So this part of me that feels like I'm creating a space for people to come who are creative, but also maybe who are creative as a profession and then maybe aren't so much, but are still really interesting and are maybe super talented. They just need a place to put it. So there's that aspect for me, is just kind of creating a place for people who are non-actors to come and try out acting. And honestly, I've met so many people who I just feel like are stars. Like they're so good, and they're a school teacher, or they're an electrician or something. Like that's their job. So that's part of it. That's a part of it for me. Is just creating space for people to explore their creative selves.
Yes, I was going to mention like, and you yourself like coming into this world is kind of part of this process, I imagine, right?
My like bringing myself um,
In
as
into the
as a
place.
non-actor kind of
Yeah,
thing. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, I think that's what makes the environment so collaborative, is because I don't know what I'm doing either. Like I'm just figuring it out too. I've done a couple plays now, and I learn every time I do one. But I'm just learning how to direct. I'm learning how to handle all of the different the different egos and personalities and everything in the room, and how to encourage people while giving them constructive feedback, like all of that stuff. So I think coming from a place of vulnerability like that just kind of invites other people to be vulnerable too, and that's where I feel like the gold dust is.
Also, it becomes like doing art and acting. It becomes like a need, right? If you
Mm-hmm.
have like something like within yourself and you have this idea and you want to share it and you want to create, it becomes a need. But also having like the privilege and and the fortune to share with somebody else, I think it's a great opportunity, right? Yeah,
Yes,
or, yes,
absolutely.
you mentioned there are electricians and people who doesn't have like it is a privilege to be able to study art, literature, or any kind of related with art, because if you don't have like your own resources, it is really hard to maintain, right?
It's so hard. It's, I mean, I was, I don't have any family in this country or anything. So for me, it was a practical choice. Like what I studied or what I went into, like the profession I chose was a practical choice. As much as I wanted to do something creative, I just was afraid of not being able to make it and not being able to provide for myself. So I chose what I chose.
Yeah.
But then I work so hard just to be able to have my own creative self and nurture my creative self. And I think for me, a part of that is creating a place where other people can do the same thing, where they can come along and leave their teaching job for the day and come and like be an actor, a part of this big ensemble of creatives.
So your projects are like rooted on social practice and community building. How Plum connect with this kind of tradition?
Um, uh, Plum, it's the same, I guess, a very similar way. It's the same in terms of like immersive production. We meet once a week, all of our cast, 18. There's 18 cast members. It's a lot of coordination, but we meet every week for rehearsal. We rehearse at Vox Populi, which is a great space, community driven gallery. Um, and that's a huge part of the social practice, is just meeting and connecting with people and supporting each other. We're all watching each other try to become a character, and it's really nerve-wracking, and I think and it's also really funny. And I think one of the quickest way to bond people is to laugh together. So that's a big part of the social practice aspect, is just being able to um, be nervous, be scared, and still have each other's back, laugh and have a good time, make memories, and then at the end of the play, once we're all wrapped and the shows are over, you've got in some cases like lifelong friends or friends you'll have forever. You're always going to be a part of the cohort that was Plum or that was that play, which is a huge part of the social practice aspect to me.
I want to ask you about two things. This is a play that is immersive. So
Mhm.
I wanna ask you, what are the challenges on putting together an immersive play in which like the public is in there?
The challenges are it's hard. Like the set is so immersive in itself, the way that we design it. And I guess one of the challenges for making it immersive is that you don't really know how people will respond, right? Like the public. And people might there are some people, there are introverts and extroverts, and like some people don't want to get involved, and like that's totally fair, like don't get involved, and then some people really do, and you'd hope you're going to engage with the right person. I think that's part of it, is just kind of making sure that you can read a room, you can catch a vibe. Maybe they don't want to be involved. Okay, cool, I'll go to the next person, that kind of thing.
Yes. So, how many peoples are going to be like in general? How many actors and how many people are going to be on the space where the play is going to be?
There are 18 cast members. There's probably like 6 crew. There's much more who have been involved in the production, but there will probably be about 6 people backstage. The audience consists, each night there's about 50 seats, so there would be about 50 people in the audience. It's a really big space, honestly. Asian Arts Initiative, we're on the 3rd floor, and it's like 3,500 square feet. So it's a big spot. But yeah, I expect there to be a lot of people just around. Yeah.
That is fantastic. And what can you repeat what days are you going to be there? And are you going to put the website just to like everybody has a chance to get the tickets?
Yes, yeah. Please, the shows are on the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th of September. So that's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday night. And it's an Asian Arts Initiative. If you're not so savvy and you don't catch the link that's here, if you Google Shay Overstone Plum or Plum Philly Fringe Festival, I'm sure you'll come across the play. There's tickets. There's also a link tree on my Instagram if you want to go there and get tickets. I've been posting about it every second day, so yeah, if you want to get tickets, come by. It's going to be fun. And not to whatever, but the last two plays have sold out, and the last play sold out about 10 days before the first show. So please come, and please buy your tickets soon so you can come, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, actually, that's fantastic. I think like we should get the tickets now,
Mm-hmm.
overall because it's something personal. If you go to like a big play, and that's not a criticism, but there's a different experience, right? If you are
Yeah.
like in a big theater and you can lose a lot of experience between the noise created by the space that is between you and the people who is in the play, and actually being in an immersive place and being in a small space, it's kind of very much more intimate than being in a regular play,
I
right?
totally agree. Yeah, I totally agree. It's like I went to a play recently at one of the theaters along well, I went to a play at Walnut Theater. And it's really big. It was a great experience, but it is really, really big. And with these plays and just fringe plays generally, I think it's much smaller. So you get to you get to be up there close and personal with the performers. And there is, like you said, Eric, something very special about that, being intimate like that.
Yeah, and do you don't want to dilute the experience, and
Yeah.
even that's important, right? Because if you need a big play, you need like big speakers, you need like big like super production,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
that is good, but kind of like dilutes like the actors and dilutes like the contact. So I feel like that's something super important. On the other hand, what is the tone of Plum? What
What
is
is
the tone?
the tone of Plum? Well, it's funny. I think it's fun. I mean, I hope it's funny. I definitely feel somewhat psychotic when I'm writing and I'm laughing at my own jokes and thinking, well, I think this is funny. So I'd say it's funny. It's maybe like a tablespoon serious. Um, but I try to keep it light, as light as I can. And like I said before, I think laughing is one way that we bond together really well and quickly. And so I often do try to make it funny so we can all kind of have a laugh together.
Yes, and I want to ask you about the production designs. I know that you have partnerships with the Phillies creative scene, like Swillpill Vintage and Jinx. How did you get in contact with this production crew, and how was to building this production design that you have?
The Sweet Peel Vintage that is owned by Jen Zimmerman and Abby Cordrea. Abby Cordrea is one of my best friends. We've been friends for a very, very long time. We've been friends before they had the store. We shared a studio together in Fishtown when I was doing photography stuff, and she was, selling vintage clothes. out of our studio. So we've known each other a long time, and we've done a bunch of different projects together. We've collaborated together many, many times. So it was a no-brainer and super easy to work with her. She usually will dress me too for the shows, which is really helpful because that's something I don't have to think about, and I'll still look cool. And then Jinxed, that was actually a connection that was made from Shakira Delouch, who is the producer for the play this year. She's fantastic. She's done a bunch. Has deep roots with vintage furniture in Philly. She does PR for Black Star, so she's kind of all-round star to me. She helps with getting me out there, but she also helps in a very practical sense to fill out the set and make us look fantastic. So it was really just about kind of connections, like the deep underground like art roots that I and so many others have been trying to build for a long time.
Yes. So you mentioned that this is inspired very much in your own experience.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any anecdote or personal experience that you're putting reflected in this play?
That's a great question. I would say there's a scene in which there is one of the guests is allergic to something, and they kind of make, I don't want to give too much away, but they make a little bit of fuss about it, and I've definitely experienced that. I mean, I worked brunch in Soho for a long time. And there are a lot of people who just happen to be allergic to all kinds of things there. And yeah, that's definitely a story from my time working in the hospitality industry.
Yes. So can you talk us about the festival, which is part like the Cannonball, and mention us how is this all how this fits with Plum?
Yeah, absolutely. So Cannonball Festival is a huge, I think they curate a program of about like 120 artists each year, and all of those artists are then showcased in the Fringe Festival. So it's kind of like a festival, a curated program within the Fringe Festival. And they a bunch of artists are in it, but then only a few artists win places in this tracks. I think there's like about 5 tracks that they have, and they're like specific special artists. So I want to place in the immersive track, and then I have 2 other people in my cohort, and I'm really upset that I'm forgetting their names right now because I want to plug their shows. Maybe I can follow up with you about that. I know that one of the shows is by Jack McManus, and the other one is by Nick Herbert, I think. One of them is really cool. It's about kind of fascism and like being a soldier and joining the army, that kind of thing. And the other one is about like this kind of self-obsession with being perfect. They're both immersive too. They'll both be fantastic to see, I think. But yeah, the immersive track is kind of like awarded to just 3 people. So we luckily won a place in this, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity because they're like leaders of our cohort, and they just share all of their knowledge with us, and I've learned so much from being in this track.
Yes, finally, just to close, for the audience who is like thinking and attending, what do you hope they take away from the experience?
That's another great question. I would hope that from the experience they would just I guess bottom line, kind of treat hospitality staff like, they're as good as what they are. And kind of, I hope the play offers a kind of multi-dimensional, look at what it is to be a server and what it means to kind of bring life to a restaurant, as someone who's like waiting on everybody in the restaurant.
Yeah, that is fantastic. Shay, I really thank you for sharing with us today. I invite everybody to go and see Plum. The link is here if you want to check it out. It's also in the comments, either like in YouTube, in Facebook, wherever are you seeing, or can simply go to Shay's Instagram. I also put it in the comments here. It is going to be at the Asians Arts Initiative on September 4, 5, 6, and 7. That's what is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. For tickets, please head over to Shay Day Layway on Instagram.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's
No,
like
it's supposed to be like that. Yeah.
it's a little bit like a tongue tie. And Shay, is there anything else you want to give it for closure?
No, I feel like you've said it all. I really hope to see whoever there, and I hope you get a laugh and a kick out of the play, and just generally, I hope you keep creating and keep being excited about life and enjoying what you're doing.
Final, one more thing, Shay. How much does it cost? $20 around something?
It's there. It's suggested as 25, but it's pay what you can. So you could come for like $5. It would be great if you could support us and give us $25. But if you can't, if you're a student or something or you just can't, give $5. Just come see it.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I think it's a must.
Yeah.
So I hope that you can be around and see Shay's play Plum, and well, I see you here like probably next Sunday. So
Yes.
thank you very much.
Cool. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Have
You
a good night.
too.